We know that Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich's detention in a Russian jail was upheld. The U.S. officials saying they are looking at, quote, creative and challenging options to bring him home. What can U.S. leaders do to persuade Russia to do just that?
Thank you, Carrie. This is a very, very difficult question because with your prior reporting, you talked about Senator McCall and just condemning the Russians for just their egregious, vicious behaviors, and it's rogue nation stuff. And the arrest of Evan Gershkovich is a prime example of that. And how we get the Russians' attention that it is the right thing and in their interest to let him go is a hard question. Our ambassador, Lynn Tracy, went to see him. They have laid out false charges. He was taken in a provincial city, Ekaterinburg, out there doing his reporter's job. And I think it's just continuous pressure all along, but not tit for tat. We're not going to roll up, and the allies are not going to roll up Russian reporters. But it's got to make it hard. We've got to put leverage on the nine-line nations who have reporters and all that. That this is really, really a breach of behavior, sadly, that is consistent with what the Russians have been doing since the awful invasion began 14 months ago.
Now, to the battlefield, we're seeing reports that Russia is dipping into Cold War-era weapons and tanks, reports showing that they don't have the resources to build new ones due to sanctions. Do you think this could be a turning point in the war if they're having to go backwards with technology at this point?
Well, if I were a Russian tanker, meaning a soldier put into a tank to drive a T-55 against sophisticated anti-tank weapons, yeah, I'd have some issues. Yet they have mass, and they've proven they will do anything, the Russians, to win, including conducting atrocities. 14 more civilians were sadly just killed near Slavyansk yesterday. The viciousness, as I said, of this Russian offensive, and leading in with older tanks, because a lot of the newer stuff just shows that for Putin, this is existential. He can't stop in his mind. He has to, however they define win, and he's thrown everything at it. And the Ukrainians are showing unbelievable moxie and determination, which we need to continue to support because this is far from over.
So the Western sanctions have worked well in slowing down Russia from rebuilding their weapons, though we are seeing reports of computer chips manufactured by the U.S. ending up in Russian weapons. So how are they bypassing these sanctions? And is this something that U.S. lawmakers should be addressing?
Absolutely. I know it is being addressed, not just the U.S., but also with our allies. But yes, a lot of the materiel is coming up through third-party nations that do have intact, if you will, business and trading links, whether Armenia, Kazakhstan, and the Central Asians. We know that stuff, maybe non-lethal stuff, is likely coming up through China. And so there's a lot of stuff that's coming in along Russia's vast borders, out of the Caucasus up through Central Asia, and as we've said. And this is hard, and it's just going to have to be good investigative work. Find it. You go back to the countries that we believe and put them to task and say, you can't do this, or we're going to have to take measures. It's hard.
So we're also seeing Russia's top opposition leader, Alexei Navalny, facing new charges after his lawyers say he was provoked to break the rules of the prison he's staying in. His lawyers say guards put a foul-smelling inmate in his cell and forced Navalny to drag him out, thus breaking the rules.
Thank you for watching. Go to NewsNationNow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.